What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me on D's Analysis. We're looking at Tesla today. We're going to be going over some technical analysis and using some indicators. So we've been running down this downward sloping trend line. We broke above it. Looks like we're currently retesting it. But not only are we retesting this downward sloping trend line, but we're testing this upward sloping trend line at the same time. So that's confluenced together to allow price to move up a little bit higher. Seems like we got a bounce, but we're still in this indecision phase. It looks like price isn't sure if it wants to treat this as a bear flag or if it wants to treat this as just some kind of bounce. It looks like it could be starting to form a bear flag. We'll see how it plays out. Of course, we don't want to see that because when you measure out that bear flag, if, for instance, this was the end of the move and you measure that out, it takes you a lot lower, which we do not want to see. It's just something to keep into consideration. Overall, though, I think it is a nice little bounce that we could potentially be getting. We just need to hold this upward sloping trend line, and then price can start to compress even more, and hopefully we end up breaking this horizontal level of support and resistance, get a close above it, retest, and then we can move up higher. I think once we break this level here above our heads, it should be a clean move up to the mid to low 400s because there's clean traffic here on the left hand side. There's not a bunch of wicks stopping price up. We have seen similar price action in the past. When you take a look here on the monthly, we've had this bull flag go into consolidation somewhat, and we're kind of seeing the same thing here. We saw a breakout and an extended sideways period, then down, and now we're seeing a breakout, retest. So let's see if we end up getting a consolidation period or if this is going to be a shortened move of this where we can shoot up to higher prices. So something that I typically use for Bitcoin related assets is global liquidity. That's this green line here. So as you can see, when we had this extended drawdown, at least this first, not drawdown, but this sideways chop, you can see global liquidity at that time period was going down and sideways, is almost creating the same movement as Tesla. So it almost seems like maybe Tesla was just following that same move. And there is a lag in terms of Bitcoin, but when you take a look at Tesla, it almost looks kind of spot on because you had this large move up, which you can see in Tesla. You see the sideways chop, then you see a move up on global liquidity. Tesla ran up, global liquidity ran sideways, Tesla ran sideways, had a little drop, and then as global liquidity picked up, so did Tesla, and they both ran up together. And now we're here at the same exact point where now global liquidity is dropping, so did Tesla, and it's kind of chopping around. Now it's starting to create higher highs, higher lows, and so is Tesla. So you can see that here on global liquidity, creating higher highs, higher lows, and Tesla's doing the same thing. So what if Tesla is about to be led by global liquidity with this next move up? And that's what we're going to see. And we break all-time highs as global liquidity did. I mean, just something to think about. You guys let me know what you think. If this makes any sense with the correlation. I usually use this for Bitcoin charts, but hey, I mean, I see a correlation here and you let me know. Maybe I'm crazy, but this looks pretty good. On the daily SMAs, we're still underneath the 20, the 50, and 200. We broke over the 20-day temporarily and now we fell underneath it. So we need to reclaim that. On the weekly, we are underneath the 200, which is not a good sign. We closed above it. So technically we haven't fell underneath the weekly yet in terms of closes, but we are temporarily there. Let's see if we get a wick back on top because last week we closed above it. So let's see if this turns into a wick and then a nice body of a candle and we push up to that 50 moving average on the weekly. On the daily Bollinger Bands, we're kind of here in the middle. We got a little push off the middle band. So let's see if we make it down to the green or we start to shoot back up and reclaim the blue band and try and make our way up to the red. and maybe we start to form like a bottoming pattern to push up higher. Just potential ideas. On the weekly, looks like we got a bounce off the green band, the bottom band, and now we're moving up higher. And that was confluence with the downward sloping trend line along with the upward sloping trend line. So let's see if we get that nice move up to the red band. On the RSI, we are creating higher highs and higher lows. We were in oversold territory, and now it looks like we're starting to create a nice little trend upward. But we did just lose this moving average, so we want to get back above that and allow price to continue up higher. Now, maybe price is just coming to this trend line before moving up, but we'll find out. We definitely want to see a nice move upward though, because this is starting to look like it could be a triple top right here, as you can see, but we definitely don't want to see that, because that would be something like that and then a move down further. We don't want to see that. And on the weekly, hopefully this is a bottoming pattern and we're starting to see something like this, where maybe we get a double bottom or triple bottom and move up higher, so we can have some sustained strength underneath price and allow it to be a sustainable move to the upside. We're going to take a look here at the Fibonacci's. When you pull here, this move here, we are fighting with the golden zone, the 0.5 to 618, strong continuation to the upside. We're currently underneath it, but we still have 13 days, so let's see if we can get a nice bounce and push up and close above the 0.5. That would be super bullish for Tesla, and I could see us running after something like that. And on a larger scale, when you pull it all the way down here, we are actually just bouncing off, and we just entered the golden zone on a larger scale. So let's see, we're kind of in the same boat where we just want to see it bounce off the long-term golden zone here, 0.5 to 618, for a bullish continuation for price. In this first move, we did see something similar to this, where we got a bounce off this golden zone here from this pull. We got a strong bounce off of it, and price continued up. And if we pull it just on this one, we had the same concept, but it was just a tap of the wick, and we shot up. So we're only looking from the right here, because this move here is irrelevant because we're pulling up here. So only to the right of this candle. So this wick, and we shot up, and then we retouched the 382 and then continued up. And then if you move it sideways, we did touch the 382 again. And if you pull it upwards to include this, and only thing that would be valid here would be anything to the right of it. We pushed to the golden zone before shooting up. Maybe that's what we're seeing here in this move currently. Just a bounce off the golden zone to continue up higher. But that's all I have for you guys here on Tesla. I'll see you in the next one.